This film was pathetic. In fact, hold on.
Welcome to Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N, the first and only place to come to for movie reviews live at the cinema. And we've just finished watching Shazam! But if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest content. But with that being said, Rob, I'm going to come to you for your first impression for Shazam. I know you've been looking forward for this for ages. What do you have to say?
Brother Miles, when I need to tell you something, man, I've been waiting 20 years for this movie, and oh my God, this film was too sick! Loved it. Done.
Yeah?
Loved it.
Overwhelmingly positive from Rob. I'm going to come to you, Greg, next.
Maybe you should come to me with the dislike bit. I don't know if you should come to me right now. This film was pathetic. In fact, hold on. This film was not a Marvel film. It was a fake Marvel film. Simple as that. They're trying to be everything Marvel is, and they got it all wrong. That's my first impression.
Wow, two controversial statements on both ends of the spectrum. Ed, I'm going to come to you.
Yeah, I mean, well, I really enjoyed the film, and I'm actually really pleasantly surprised because I've been let down by Warner Brothers time and time again. But I'm actually really pleasantly surprised. Greg kind of said it was kind of like a fake Marvel feel, and I kind of get what you're saying. Like, it did feel like a Marvel film, but it wasn't. But it was actually really good. I enjoyed it.
James?
Absolutely sick film. I was pleasantly surprised at how well the film was done. I think they did a really good job with Shazam. I wasn't expecting that, and I think they did overall a very good job.
That will wrap our first impressions. Let's get straight into what we enjoyed about the film. Rob, you were screaming.
Are you heard?
20 years. What did you enjoy? What's one of the things you enjoyed about the film?
The intro, how can I put it? It got the first, it just, man, the film was too sick.
Man said he enjoyed the DC logo, yeah? Shock.
Nothing to do, don't listen to this Marvel, like, look at him. Okay, no, seriously though, what I liked about it was it stuck to the 52 comic storyline. The introduction to Dr. Savannah was brilliantly done. They even took certain parts straight from the comic. And did you see Black Adam? Even they got his face, The Rock's face, so that's even more clarification that The Rock is going to be playing Black Adam. You don't see it when the wizard told him, when the wizard did that thing, and then he told him, I had a champion.
Yeah.
But then the third part, what really got me was the Shazam families turned up. That was, thank you DC, thank you Warner Brothers, thank you.
But Ed, what did you enjoy about the film?
Yeah, so much. I think the film was funny, and I like that in a comic movie. I like laughing, and I think it did that. It made me do that. So I like all the side characters. Usually, sometimes in films you haven't got enough strong enough supporting characters. I liked Bulk and Skull, or whatever the two bullies were. I just liked the supporting characters, and I liked how funny it was, man.
Okay. Let me not neglect this side, James. I know you had positive things to say about the film.
There were some really good references in the film. Example, when he and Dr. Savannah were fighting for the first time, how he turned back into a kid and he ran away, because in the comics, when he was fighting Black Adam, he did the same thing because he was so scared he actually turned back into a kid to run away from Black Adam. So that was actually sick. And also, I don't know if people picked up on it, but there was a big reference in there as well.
The piano.
Yeah, the piano, them lot fighting on the piano as well. That was sick. What was like really unexpected for me as well, what Rob said was, I wasn't expecting the Shazam family whatsoever. I thought that was actually a really sick surprise. I was so gassed. And obviously, probably one of my favorite scenes as well was one of the Shazam family doing Hadouken. Bro, that was sick.
That was sick. Daryl?
What I enjoyed was the Zachary Levi, is that his name? I think he plays Shazam really well. He basically was playing a 14-year-old child. So you could just see the fun in his eyes, and he's actually enjoying himself. I think even the bit where they're shooting him in his chest, he's like, look, here, have your gun back, just shoot me in the face. You know what I mean? So it was like, it was fun. The film was fun. I think the only thing is that I would have liked to see more of his powers, like him doing more, but yeah, there's a few scenes I enjoyed.
Greg, in your words, you said this film was pathetic. On that note, did you enjoy anything about the film at all?
Yeah, I agree with Daryl. The boy with the crutches, very good actor. That's it. No, he was a good actor.
Yeah, so we established what we enjoyed. Let's talk about things that we didn't enjoy so much in the film. I will kick it off. I would say the CGI at times was a little bit ropey. The scenes with the 7 deadly sins, the scenes sometimes with Shazam when he's flying and stuff like that, they were a little bit ropey. But that's one thing I didn't like. Anyone else?
Yeah, kind of on reflection of what Daryl was saying a bit, where Shazam was actually, when he was Shazam, he was acting like a kid, and that was good. But then my sort of gripe with it was that he wasn't acting like the same kid. He wasn't acting like Billy. I think that kind of annoyed me quite a lot in the film because they are two completely different people. And I understand Shazam's portraying a 14-year-old kid, but he is still that guy in here. And so he should be portraying him.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The two characters did not mesh. Yes, Zachary Levi played it well. They did not seem like the same character. When you turn back into Billy, he didn't have the same mannerisms, the same characteristics. He had nothing. He turned back into this miserable child. Yes, we know why he's miserable. It's a very sad story. You touched on it. However, act like that as Shazam then. Or if you're acting like Shazam and you've got all these powers, of course you're going to be happy. But then when you turn back into the boy, you should still be happy because you know what you can do. You don't suddenly become withdrawn again.
Yeah, put it this way, I couldn't see Billy doing a flipping floss.
Yeah.
I can't see Billy flossing.
And so the first thing was 1974 when the film first opened up. Why did Dad look exactly the same? Everyone grew up except the dad. Pathetic. I just didn't like it. Like I said, they tried to throw in little humour, little Marvel humour, and they did it wrong. It didn't work. They should stick to what they do best. Actually, they don't even do that best. They should just stick to being dark and, oh, look at me. Just get out of this realm of comedy because they're not doing it right. They're doing it, oh, let me just do a few kid stuff and look at me, I'm going to throw lightning in the air. This is all funny. All the bus is going to fall. No, that wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. So if you're going to do it properly.
Okay, Daryl, I know you wanted to say.
I can't follow up from that. No, and I think this is probably like a running issue with the DCU films. Sometimes I think the third act goes on a bit too long, especially when they got to the circus bit. They were kind of building it up for the Shazam Kids scenario, but all of that bit, I just think they should have just cut that out because it just wasn't interesting to me.
All right, so James, anything? Bloody yeah.
Just one more. Freddie said he knows Shazam. They all made fun of him. Cool. Then he was on the news with Shazam, having a little argument because that's how we all found out. Then he went back to school and they're going, "Your fake friend." But we just saw him on the news with Shazam, having a little conversation, but then you're pretending.
No, they watch Shazam. They watch YouTube. That would have been on YouTube.
That would have been on YouTube. How many camera phones filmed it?
No, it's not semantic, but it's a nitpick. Here's a plot hole. But yeah, James.
I just wanted to combat something that Greg said first of all, yeah. But you were talking about how he literally acts like a different person. You know, one of man's abilities is to have the courage of Achilles, yeah? So he would go from being a dreary person to being someone that's a bit more confident. Not a clown, because that's just who he is as a kid. Like kids love to mess about. He loves to mess about, as you know, but to have the confidence to not get the burden of his parents weighing him down, the courage of Achilles helps him with that. So that's just the one thing I want to point out to you, yeah? My only issue is that there was a lot of times where I felt like he could have used the wisdom of Solomon a bit more, and I don't think that ability wasn't very showcased in this film. In this film. Yeah, at all.
That feeds into my point of saying I don't think they showcased his powers.
Yeah, they did it
to the level that I think they should have. It is an origin movie, and I allow that. My point is all the things that he was doing. So like the speed that he was using, it was clear that was a power, right?
Yeah.
So like all these other things he was doing was clear that a power, the strength, the vulnerability, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm saying things like you said, wisdom or whatever. It would have been nice to see them go, okay, that's what wisdom is.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
to kind of.
You want them to actually highlight?
Even if it's something like learning, I don't know, like he was doing his homework or something, and then he started, like he was doing math, and then he was doing math, and he's like, oh shit, I don't know how I'm like, know all this.
One thing that I didn't like, I thought was a plot hole, was when he fought one of the 7 deadly sins for the first time. When he tried to punch him, he went straight through. But then when the rest of the Shazam family fought them, they were able to bang them up.
Well, they never, went into smoke, didn't they?
I know, but why didn't they?
I don't know.
Well, that's what he said.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not trying to defend that.
So after our discussion, we are going to get into our scores for Shazam out of 10. Rob, I'll give you the honors of being first.
Wow, an 8.
8 out of 10?
Yeah, 8 out of 10.
All right, no problem. I'll carry on with this side first. James, I'm going to come to you next.
Yeah, I'm going to give this an 8.5. Yeah, I've noticed that we seem to like give CGI like a negative thing. I think CGI is like a common issue with a lot of superhero films. So I actually just tend to just ignore it nowadays, because if we just keep on talking about it, it's always going to be there no matter what. Overall, I thought the film was very good. I think the story was quite well done. It was very funny, and I feel that the guy that plays Shazam did a very good job at playing as a kid in an adult form. Everything, like, you know, when he was like, oh, where should I go to next? And they went to that adult club as well. And then when he was trying to get out, the first thing he thought was going back to the adult club, and that how Thingy like knew like the girls' names, everything, like it was cracking me up. It was true. DC had weaknesses, and they know what they're trying to do to improve that now. And I think with Aquaman was a strong start, and I think Shazam is a continuation of a strong start for them too.
Fair. Right, so that's 8.5 from James. Daryl, you're up next.
I really enjoyed the film. I think the beginning was a bit flat until Levi jumped on stage. I think he commanded that role. I was a bit skeptical about them bringing him in at first, because I thought, why of all people? But he really played the role well. I wasn't really a fan of the villain. I thought the third act dragged on a bit. Besides that, I'm going to agree with Rob and give it an 8, I think.
On that note, Ed.
Obviously, like I said earlier, I actually enjoyed the film. I thought it was quite funny. Obviously, there's bits that I can nitpick things. Like, obviously, I know he's supposed to have, like, Wisdom of Solomon, and James said he's got, like, the clownage of Krusty or whatever the whole that stuff is. But, like, I just think, like, little nitpicking things where, yeah, he wasn't the same and whatever. I would have given it an 8.5 if I couldn't just nitpick. So for that, I'd give it an 8. I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's probably my favourite Worlds of DC film, I think.
Very high scores, I would say. I'm quite surprised that we have nothing under an 8 so far, but I assume that it will not stay that way for long. Great.
No, look. Hold on, let me put this back on to show I'm not biased. I'm going to put the non-biased jacket on, because I don't want people to get the wrong opinion. Right, it's an introduction movie, and I felt they didn't do enough to properly introduce us as to who he is. I felt there was inconsistencies, as I mentioned before, from when he was a boy to a man, even to a point where you were talking about the Shazam family. Someone mentioned it about the little 6-year-old girl all of a sudden is running up Ferris wheels, grabbing people. A 6-year-old is doing all this. Now, if you're saying she's got the wisdom to be able to do that, and super strength and super speed, okay, cool. I would just have to buy into that. I just don't know any 6-year-olds that would do that, but then they haven't got superpowers. Another introduction film, again, sorry to go too on, like Guardians of the Galaxy, for example, it was done brilliantly. They introduced us to the characters, the comedy was set, it wasn't inconsistent, the comedy here was just all over the place. That's how you do it properly. This wasn't. I'm going to give it a 6.
What? I enjoyed the film. I felt like DC had a very clear view of what they wanted to do with this movie, and I think that they executed it well. I felt like it was more, I think kids would enjoy this film more than adults, I would say. And I felt like the general mood of it being for kids meant that it tried to get away with more things than it would if it was like a more adult movie, like the certain plot points. Kids won't really care about that, you know. That being said, I enjoyed the Shazam family. Good references throughout. Zachary Levi done a good job. Middle bit dragged a bit. I think overall I'll give it a 7.5. Okay. 7.5 from me. So that has been our review for Shazam. What did you think of it? Were you like Rob? Do you think it was great? Or were you more like Greg and do you think it was pathetic? Put that in the comments below. As always, make sure you like, share and subscribe. From all of us at Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N. Until the next video, peace.
Shazam!